do a recce of a mud for fun track, and we are going to start with this small obstacle over here. I call it small so we follow first gear. Let's do it. Do a recce of a mud for fun track, and we are going to start with this small obstacle over here. I call it small so we follow first gear. Let's do it. Niaje wase, welcome to Konnekt live. Na leo tumechelewa kidogo, but hatujachelewa kwa ubaya. Tumechelewa kwa sababu tumetoka kupeleka trooper shakedown ya Mud for Fun. Mud for Fun is a mud for fun event that is happening at Chania Groove in Thika, pale Gatanga. And the trooper is participating. So today we had a shakedown so that we can set up our cars, in time for the event. Na on the trooper, kwa hii event we are running on road cruiser mud terrain tires, zile zinaitwa RA3200. Na mmeona venye mambo kwa shakedown imekuwa pale. But unfortunately the shakedown normally has a few casualties. When we were doing the second lap, niligonga mahali. Kiangalia kwa hiyo video, we lost the right hand front drive shaft, but tulimaliza. So sahi tukitoka hapa live ni kurudi garage pale na mechanic anaitwa Mr. Suleiman Wesonga, abomoe hiyo gari mbele, tuweke shaft and get ready for Saturday. Now I need to tell you something about Saturday ya Mud for Fun. We are going to give a few tickets. Na leo hapa nitapatiana tickets mbili za Mud for Fun. Na hizi tickets kunazo zinapeanwa courtesy of Road Cruiser Tires na kuna zenye zinapeanwa na courtesy of Konnekt Kenya. So tukimaliza hii live show, we are going to give you guys a few tickets so that you can have fun. Tukifika kwa matope pia you guys get to have fun. But kama kawaida, we start with salamus. I can see Achieng Frederick alisema tupitie class alafu tuone Arsenali ikionyeshwa dust. Leo kuna game ya Arsenali. Haya. Josh Human is glad to be here kama kawaida. Jay's Garage, what is your experience with the GRX 110 ama 130? Tutarudi hapo. Morioki alikuwa anasema niingia manikule viboko. Pole sana, tulikuwa tunatoka Mud for Fun. Angore kama kawaida anasema ako ndani kama Moril. Tuanze show jamani, poa sana. Sheriff anasema the trooper doing what it was born to do. Yes, that is why manze we have built this trooper to perfection. And I would like to give a very special thanks to Donga Car Bakery for the paint job and the tinting. I would also love to give a big shout out to a mechanic who is called Mr. Suleiman Wesonga, kijana ya Ingo. Hiyo jamaa anaelewa hiyo trooper venye anaelewa mkono yake. So he has been very instrumental in redoing the turbo for that vehicle because we could not find the original turbo for the C223 engine. So we had to get another turbo and refabricate the manifold. And I must say, Suleiman is a genius when it comes to modifying. And kuna watu, haya. Bas, nimeweka hiyo mic vizuri. Let me say, I was saying I have to give Mr. Suleiman a good you see, a round of applause. Siwezi mklapia hapa, but he has done a good job on that vehicle and he's continuing to do a good job of that vehicle. So wacha niendelee hapa. Cyrus Kibi anasema hiyo trooper ni my age mate 40 years. Uh, eh, kama 40 years. The trooper is 1985. 1985, so it's turning 40 this year. So that is, I think that is a good thing. Happy birthday, bwana Cyrus Kibe. Then Mike Ondungu anasema tuko ndani. Mata anasema weka mic vizuri, nimeiweka vizuri. Morioki Marigi saying let a ticket CK Pajero MK1 with a 4D 5060 would love to give the trooper your trooper a challenge. Well, Morioki Marigi, kindly call the number iko hapo 0710 844 863 to grab your ticket. By the way, huyu ndio msee wa kwanza amepata tiko because he wants to bring his Pajero Mark 1. Now the Pajero Mark 1 and my trooper actually share quite a lot of things, na that is a ni vizuri ya kuja aone, but kuna challenge tutafanya. Actually the opening challenge or ya Mad for Fun itakuwa the trooper versus a Pajero IU. Kuna jamaa hapo anaitwa Subukia One ama Kinuthia who says he's and this is going to be the first event ya Mad for Fun. Huyo jamaa anaitwa Kinothi amesema ati gari yake inaweza shinda trooper, and we are going to see. So we are the opening challenge would be a drag strip that is littered in mud. So we are going to see which vehicle will complete it in the shortest time. Na hiyo ndio inakuwa opening challenge with the trooper and the Pajero mini opening the track. Sawa sawa. Wacha sasa tuingie kwa the Q&A session, because this is a Q&A session, na nataka kusema if you would like to contribute anything towards the production of this live show, you can do so by sending an M-Pesa kwa hiyo namba iko hapo 0710 844 863. Will Kavi anasema hiyo trooper iko best. Asante sana. So wacha tuanze na maswali and I'll go. Gatama Dixon anasema in it on Saturday. Gatama Dixon ni mtu ametoka Thika, ametoka Embu. Unajua watu wa Embu kuna kazi ingine hapo wanafanyanga. Watu wa Embu hawatakangi jokes. So let me start with the questions. Let's see. Karinga Kioi anasema ati Eric anataka kuwa kama previous government kukosa kukeep time. Sawa. Okay, let's start with the question. Jay's Garage is asking, Niaje CK, what's your experience with the GRX? Is it a good car for a first time? I'm not managed for expensive maintenance, but I can cope with 9 kilometers per liter. The GRX, whether 110 or 130, it's not a high maintenance vehicle. In fact, it's one of those vehicles that you might not even break down. So yes, if you can fuel it, then it is a vehicle I would say that would be a good car for a first time car buyer. Metro News anauliza, hey Wakabi, I'm Moses from Sotik. I am considering getting a Nissan Skyline 2.0 Infinity model. Is it a good car, value for money in the Kenyan market? How reliable is the M274 engine? The Nissan Skyline or the Infinity Q50 is basically Mercedes-Benz in Nissan dressing. Ni Mercedes tu imewekwa nguo ya Nissan, because M274 powertrain and Mercedes-Benz gearbox and diff. So hiyo ni gari, na mmeanza kupiga simu mapema sana. Hii tutachukua hii simu baadaye. Mngeanza na M-Pesa kidogo. Anyway, we are going to get to the calls later, but for now I was talking about the Skyline. So the Skyline is one of those vehicles that will give you, unajua, if you are buying a Mercedes-Benz W205, it will set you back close to 5 million, the 2019 ones. So I would rather you buy, if you're on a budget, actually with the Infinity Q50 or with the Nissan Skyline 2.0 GTT, it's a Mercedes-Benz on a budget. Yeah, so you get the Mercedes-Benz performance, the Mercedes-Benz feel, but the budget of a Nissan. Simesikia story hata iPhone China zinatengenezwa na pesa ngapi. So Yeah, I would say it's the Infinity Q50 is value for money, from the performance and the looks and everything. Yeah, it's a car I would consider value for money. Uh, who else? Who else? Let me see. Let me see. There's also Rosanna Job, by the way, karibu sana for kuingia kwa show mapema. AK Channel anasema I want Elgrand nikiwekewa gas will it work? Elgrand bana, there is something and we are going to do something about this, about LPG. If you're buying an Elgrand, why would you want to put LPG in that vehicle? I don't think, because if you see, even if you put in LPG, there's the cost of installation. Plus, instead of buying an Elgrand, why don't you buy a Nissan Serena e-Power? It has the same comfort, only smaller, but has Icona. What is it called? Icona. It has hybrid technology, so the fuel economy is very good. And like buying an Elgrand, and still Nikama, it is like buying a Land Cruiser 200 series V8 alafu useme utaweka gas. Seriously, it might not make economic sense. Tuende kwa David Thu is asking, hi Wakabi, what are your thoughts on the Suzuki Fronx? Is it the Suzuki Fronx that is sold locally as zero mileage? Because that Fronx that is sold locally as zero mileage is it's not a bad car. You know Suzuki and their small engines, but the one that is sold locally as zero mileage is not really 100% Suzuki DNA, because it's made by Maruti Suzuki, which is based in India. They have been making cars for quite some time, and but Suzuki's are quite reliable. Even that Fronx is, it's like a smaller version of the Indian Grand Vitara. Sawa. Let me see. Efanta Zunguri anasema CK Honda Fit old model for long distance ikoaje? Iko sawa Honda Fit. Ken Mwaki yako wapi? Ken Mwaki ni, I have lost. Hello Wakabi, which car would you suggest for a budget of 400k for a small family? Toyota Corolla A110, Nissan Note E11, Nissan Sunny B15. Which other car? Pia ni gari gani ingine inaingianga hapo inakuanga mzuri, and it is underrated. No, first of all, let's stick to those three. The E11 Note, the Toyota Corolla 110, and the Nissan B15. Hizo utapata na hiyo bei, and you'll get very clean ones, cars that will serve you well for the next 5 or so years. Langat Frank anasema ni aje bro, poa sana. Kuna hawa majamaa wakiwekanga Nissan B12 Turbo, waliendeleaje, ama how can I go about it, because I'm planning to boost my E13 Nissan B12. Langat, kuna gari zingine, you see, if it was not meant to be turbocharged, there's a lot of work that should be done to turbocharge it. But what happens is, when you turbocharge some of these vehicles, people forget that they are also the internals. Can the internals handle the boost? So hii si kitu ya kufanya one day, ni kitu inahitaji hesabu mingi sana. And just to remind you, we are filming from Grande Motor Imports hapa Trio Complex, na we are in a strategic partnership between Auto Konnekt and Grande to facilitate importation ya magari zenyu in a seamless way. Fine Driving anasema so the trooper off-roading. Yes, ndio hiyo. Austin Juma ameuliza swali very interesting hapa, and he asks, hello, electric Neta or BYD or Prius? Pure electric, which is best for long-term commuting? There is one electric which stepped in Kenya first but has been disappointing. I don't wish to mention it. Tuambie sisi hapa, sisi wote ni watu wazima. Tuambie ni gani hiyo. But with electric vehicles, I think when you're choosing an electric vehicle, you need really to consider even the aftermarket support that you're getting. So ni vizuri uangalie vizuri. But the Prius here, the Prius is a hybrid, and I feel the Prius has the best of both worlds. It has the fuel economy, very good fuel economy, You don't get to have range anxiety. It's basically the thin line between an ICE vehicle and an electric vehicle. So kama wewe ni mse wa long distance, the Prius might make sense. Kama wewe ni mtu wa town commuting, then you can get an EV. But if you look at the pricing of the EVs, I think the Netta might make a little bit of more sense when you're talking about pricing of these vehicles. Na tuko na review ya Netta pale, so you can just scout the channel, you will find a mini review of the Netta. Kuna jamaa anaitwa The Funny Reflection Show. Hi Wakabi, is it possible to swap an auto transmission to a manual one for the 2013 Axela hatchback? Also, how much would it cost? It would cost a lot of money because it's a lot of work. Yes, it's not impossible. In fact, it's very possible, but it's a lot of work. Sometimes it does not make economic sense because there's a lot of there are a lot of things that you need to consider. Steve G, Peter Nganga anasema KSA locked. KSA ni wapi? Steve G anasema I bought a 2003 Volkswagen Golf Mark 4. I changed the gearbox but I realized inatoa moshi kwa engine through the engine oil cap. Kindly advise kama hiyo engine inaweza tengenezwa ama ni kuchange. Yes, you can rebuild that engine. The Mark 4s were rebuildable. Tafuta mtu anajua kubuild hizo Volkswagens vizuri and they'll give you a good job. That engine you can squeeze some years on it before you go all in na kuiskuma. So yes, try rebuild the engine first. We have who else is this? Nani yako hapa? Nani huyu? Anybody with a Toyota Starlet EP80T GT niuzie. Petit Poet hata mimi natafuta hiyo gari. So tuko wengi. Then we have Joey Irungo. Hey Eric, been considering the Renault Megane RS Sport, but is it worth? Ama just with Golf R. The Megane prices are pretty nice right now for a low mileage. You see, one thing about the Megane is that it looks really nice and inauzangwa na bei fiti sana. So if you're not afraid of kutafuta vitu, and you see the world today is a global village, so you can always import something na inakuja na a record time. So that is something that you might consider. The Megane RS is actually quite good. Now, by the way, just to remind you, wasewa Eldoret, tuko na service center pale Eldoret inaitwa Neon Mobility. So if you need of service kwa gari yako, kimbia pale Pioneer Eldoret. Pale kwa maps ingia weka Neon Mobility, utaona mahali iko. Ukiingia pale utapata kijana anaitwa Ezekiel. Na the world is a funny place kwa sababu Ezekiel is a long time student of Mr. Suleiman. Sawa. And the beautiful thing, next week tukifanya live tutawaletea a feature on how the trooper performed kwa Mad for Fun, which is happening this weekend. Na wale watu wako nyuma yetu kwa Mad for Fun ni watu wanaitwa Road Cruiser. They have been with us since tukienda Burundi na Suzuki. They are with us now. Walikuwa pia kwa ile time tulikuwa tuna unveil the trooper pale Donga Car Bakery. Also Donga Car Bakery wako nyuma yetu, walitupigia gari rangi freshi kabisa. So I keep on thanking these individuals hapa. Cyrus Kibe anasema as a first time car buyer, which one can you go for between Mitsubishi Pajero V6 diesel, 4D 5060 ama Nissan Terrano 2 with a TD27? Can I give an unpopular truth? TD27 is simply unkillable. 4D56 it's a good engine, but inakuanga na shida zake kadhaa. 4D56 ikitaka kukula kichwa inaweza kukula kichwa, but they were very reliable, hazikuwa na mashida. But TD27 hata ukiweka, unaona the good thing about the TD27, unaona hata ukitoa oil, mtu akuwa anabadilisha gari yake oil, uchukue uweke ndani ya TD, sikwambii ufanye hivyo, it will still work. Those engines were built to last. So the Nissan Terrano, yes, kama utapata Terrano 2, kama utapata place ya kupata parts, yeah, if I would not have found the trooper, by the way, I would have bought the Terrano 2. Yeah, because those TD27s are very 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 decent, na hizo engine size imepanda bei, so ukipata Terrano tu imelala, rebuild that engine to factory spec, ndio gari itakuserve vizuri sana. Tuendelee na hizi maswali. Peter Murithi, I'm selling a Peugeot 406 at 250 clean unit. Peter Murithi, hebu fanya hivi, tuma hizo picha kwa WhatsApp hii 0710844863. I'll link you up with somebody who is looking for the same car. So ingia pale, tuma hizo picha kwa WhatsApp, we'll find them and I'll send them to the person, so you guys can link up, muongee, muone kama mtasikizana. Mkisikizana ni sawa sawa sawa, ama namna gani my friend? Si namna hiyo. So Martin mkuu, nikiwa na around 1M max 1.3, what car should I consider local used? Currently using an Impreza. 1.3, what is to work na 1.3? You can get yourself a Subaru Forester SH5. That would make a lot of sense, especially for a compact crossover SUV, because it's very versatile. Gigari iko juu, ina perform. The only thing I would advise, ukinunua uangalie sana maneno ya steering rack. Sawa sawa. Na leo sijaona Eric wa Identity Cars, yeye anatafutanga, anapenda hizo magari sana hapa. Moses Milao Sapunyo, hey Wakabi wa Trooper, salimia Tom. Tiny pesa ni aje za cabbage zikam. So hata tumia ile namba ya Mpesa iko hapo, that one will work fine. Antis Mods, hello mkubwa, was scrolling around and I saw a Toyota Corolla E150 wide body. It had a 1.8 liter and it was set to be sold for 1.8 million. Now I'm asking, is that price really reasonable for a car that is 20 years? For an E150, if you consider the investment that has been done on that car, I think, if I was to sell my Trooper, how much would I sell it for? Unajua hizi magari, and let me tell you, there are some things that wasewa people who want cars to move from point A to point B cannot understand. Sababu you can find somebody selling a 30-year-old, 40-year-old vehicle for even $1 million or $2 million plus, and it is because of the emotional attachment to the car. I have a friend who is anaitwa Farasikasi ama Jamlek Butali. Yeye ako na there's a time we featured that car on Konnekt, a green Land Cruiser, and inakuwa KSV. Yes, yeye alipewa 5 million akakataa. When you build a car, there is an attachment that you get, and that is why if you want your children not to get into drugs, introduce them to expensive hobbies kama kujenga magari, because kujenga magari hutowaipata pesa ya kwenda kutafuta kanusu. Hapana, you're always thinking of how can I make my car better, and you see now it becomes very difficult for you actually to detach from that car, because you've put in not only money but also your emotions in the car. Sawa. Tuendelee. Charles Kingori anasema, Mr. CK, how much will it cost to import a Subaru Outback Wilderness Edition? Charles Kingori, siwezi kuambia this off my head, but I can link you up with Tom from Grande Motor Imports. Do this, Charles. Kwa hiyo number 0710844863, just drop us a message and utuambie, just say Charles Subaru Outback Wilderness. Drop that message and then we are going to link you up with Tom na you're going to communicate. He's going to give you the full costings of the vehicle, and Tom is a partner, and I told you we have that strategic partnership with the Grande Motor Imports to bring you cars in a very seamless and effective way. Sawa, tuendelee. RMN, hi Wakabi, Mazda Axela 2007. Where is it? Kwa nini imepotea? Oh yeah, hi Wakabi, Mazda Axela 2007, 1500cc doing 10 kilometers. Is that okay? Car without catalytic converter. What's the solution to remove the check engine? Now, ameandika muffler, but the actual thing is the catalytic converter. The only way to remove that check engine is to put in another catalytic converter or delete the catalytic converter from the car's ECU or computer. Uh, the reason inakupatia 10 kilometers per liter ni kwa sababu that catalytic converter is not there. You know, these emissions, unajua kama trupa yangu venye moshi inatoka kwa engine ndivyo inaingia kwa exhaust. They doesn't have this complicated modern emission standard, and that is why mimi by the way napandanga miti sana sana juu unajua magari zangu hazina catalytic converter, hazina EGR, hazina DPF, but an environmental champion, and I believe there are better ways of solving these problems apart from installing all these devices. And it is very simple. Plant a tree. Yeah. So, tuendelee. Okay. AK channel. I want Elgran. My heart is telling me their value for money. I want my customer to get comfort, and I want to get fuel which I can maintain. AK channel, hata ukiweka gas, that vehicle might start giving you problems in the short run. Because you see, that engine, if you're shopping around for a car in Japan, when they angalia fuel type, you'll see that there are vehicles that are designated, that are built to run on LPG, and there are vehicles that are built to run on petrol. There are vehicles that are built to run on what is called flex fuel. Sawa. So when you're unafanya hivyo, the moment you're starting to use a fuel that is not recommended for a car and use it, you know, many people will tell you weka LPG, but no one actually studies the technicalities za kuweka LPG, because there are some spark plugs, even Denso and NGK, one of them put up an article on their website and said, if you're using LPG on your petrol vehicle, change the spark plugs, because some spark plugs are actually zinaishanga haraka when they are subjected to LPG. There's a technical article. If you look at it online, you might find that bulletin. So it's actually there. So kama gari ni meant for petrol, acha ikae petrol. Ukiweka LPG ama biogas there should be some reaction somewhere. So it might not be immediate, but in the long run you might get some reactions that might not be very positive. Tuko na Kaburo Kimathi anasema ni aje Eric, between the C2 W202 C200 and W124 E200, which is better, and which is better for first time car? Now, if you're buying the W124 E200, if it comes with an 111 engine, it's a good, okay, both of them, if they are coming with a 111 engine, they are good cars, but I would vouch for the 202 for a first time car owner, because hizi magari zetu mzee ukiona tukiziendesha, they are quite tasking. So go for the newer W202. You, especially with the 111 engine, you will enjoy the car. Steven Murithi and also Eric, which is better coolant for Subaru XV 2015 pink or green, and can one mix them? Now, Stephen Muthoi, I think there is we need to have a full video on this coolant thing. Sababu, the only problem that occurs when you mix coolants is when you mix a silicon-based coolant and a glycol-based coolant. Because when you mix the both of them, what happens is called gelling. But we are lucky as Kenya, I don't think there are so many silicon-based coolants in our country right now, but most of them are glycol based, na ndio maana ukionja coolant kidogo unasikianga kwa umbali iko na kasukari fulani, so you inaitwa glycol. So before you select the coolant to use, you need to know what are the properties of this coolant. Is it glycol based? Yes. Does it have antifreeze properties, anti-corrosion properties? So, you know, these days in the market kuna marangi mingi sana. There are even blue ones, there are even green ones, and most of them, ukienda and you buy coolant from a reputable supplier, the coolant will have the contents. So if you're buying a coolant for the Subaru XV, make sure it's a glycol based coolant. Tuko pamoja, sababu Subaru XV iko na aluminium block. I think that is clear. So usiangalie rangi kwanza, angalia the contents of the coolant. My prince anasema best EV if you are moneyed is Lucid Air. Get one if you can afford. My prince, swali ni wangapi wata afford? Husband Brown, hello legend, asante sana from North Carolina na kutazama sana. I value your advice. Thank you so much husband. Nashukuru sana. Daniel Thuo, trupa ilienda wapi jameni? Daniel Thuo, sababu ya hiyo maneno, hebu cheza hiyo clip ya trupa aone. Daniel Thuo, cheza hiyo. Ni nini Daniel? Unauliza maswali ati trupa ilienda wapi? Trupa ndiyo hii hapa. Ona maneno. Nataka uone maneno. Usikize mtambo venye unapepea. Sawa? Andy, hebu wekea huyu Daniel nani? Huyu Daniel Thuo, mwekee aone. But before uone, wacha tuone. Watching live from MGQ kama kawaida, Hesbon Nyamete, karibu sana. Vincent Atieno, is Juke is a Juke a good car for a first time car owner? Nitajibu hiyo swali kwanza Daniel Thuo aone trupa. Daniel Thuo, hebu cheki. To start with this small obstacle over here. I call it small so we follow first gear. Let's do it. So ndio maana unaona mothers wanapenda sana hii maneno ya Juke. Aya, but anyway, get another car bana. Vincent, tafuta gari ingine. Tom Kin, hello my mentor. Between a 2006 Mark X 4-wheel drive and Grande 4-wheel drive, gani better for a first time car owner? Now, the Grande, I drive a Grande. I own a Grande. It's a superb car. Has the only naturally balanced engine, which is a straight six. Gari sauti bwana ni ile ya kutoa nyoka pangoni. But sasa, you know, it's an old, and the other unique selling point of a Grande is that it's very comfortable. Unaweza nitafuta nikubebe na yangu. If you drive a Grande and ukikalia kwa gari ingine unasikia kama umekalia wheelbarrow. But the GRX 120 is also not a bad vehicle. So if you're not looking at age, the Grande would be a better vehicle. It's very simple. The throttle yake ni ya cable, si ya sensor kama ya Mark X. So it's a very simple car to actually keep on the road. So if you're not afraid of age, you can go for the Grande. If you want kukaa kama kijana modern anaanza life, unajua uzuri wa Grande, as our Gen Z with experience called Andy says, Grande iko na hiyo look ya old money. Mark X iko look ya kijana anajaribu. Somebody who is trying. So are you trying or nunua Grande? Nunua Grande. Sawa. Joey Irongo, Kevin Nganga, yes. Ian Mayaka anasema I would like a performance car as my first car, but a bit confused between a GT86 na Swift Sport. Here we can talk about prices. The Swift Sport is not a performance car. Yes, the Swift Sport is not a performance car. Andika hapo. Swift Sport is not a performance car. Wewe hiyo ni wewe naambia, andika. Swift Sport si gari ya performance. GT86 is a performance car. Sawa. Hapo kwa Swift Sport kidogo hiyo not unless it's heavily modded, and that is why but the GT86 are quite rare. They, for some reasons, they did not do well in the market, but they are quite nice. They look sleek, na pia they play the part, especially when it comes to performance. Tuende Kevin Joey Irongo is saying, last question, came up on a Land Rover Discovery 4 5-liter V8 supercharged, imported from SA. How better is it from ile ya kawaida ya 3.0? Wait. Sauti ile kitu inatoa. That mimi I would buy the 5-liter V8 to be driving on Sunday for 10 kilometers because of the sound. Yes, kwa mfuko inakudent, but it sounds awesome. Hizi ni zile magari you buy without worrying about fuel economy or small problems like those ones. Hiyo ni gari ya ukifika self actualization, ama when you love cars too much that you're willing to go the extra mile and spend so much money on keeping that car on the road. We have maswali ni mingi. Ati huyo ulikuwa unapea advice ya juu, hakuna kitu amesikia juu ya sound. Really? Sidhani. Hata nilimwambia tu asibai hiyo gari. There's a problem with sound, eh? Sound. Iko sawa sasa? Okay. Sa kuna John Kangosing na amesema Trooper iko sawa, itumwe Rescue Vietnam. Yo Brav anasema I'm looking for a 09 or 08 Honda CR-V all-wheel drive. By the way, is it a reliable car? It's very reliable. Suspension ya nyuma tu ndio utaangalia. Viper Peter, hi Wakabi, talk about the hidden gem Toyota Caldina Chopper. Hiyo gari, especially if you get it with the 3S GTE, hiyo ni holy grail. Sawa. Bonaventure Gamba, Tom, can you advise me on importing a 28 VW Passat B8 or a 2018 Peugeot 308, both as a state budget is 2.6 million? Mimi, I would go for the VW Passat B8. Hiyo gari ni moto. Iko jamaa hapa part of our Konnekt family ya kona moja, lakini yake ni sedan version, anaitwa Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy, salimia watu ukiwa hapo sitting room na kuona. Kimzi anasema hello Wakabi, ardent video watcher of yours, thank you so much. Between ex-Japan Axio and Kenyan used Axela, in terms of maintenance, cost and peace of mind, please advise. Definitely, if you're buying a locally used Axela, lazima ikue imepitishwa kwa machuom. So the Axio, if it's foreign used and it's a clean unit, it might make more economical sense. Okay. Stephen Moriuki anasema Swift Sport 2018 imefika 1.8 million. Comment and review on it. It's a nice car. It makes you feel like it's going fast. It's not necessarily powerful, but it's light and it's fun to drive. That's my comment on it. Vic 254 anasema Volvo V40 versus Axela petrol, which one is the best for daily use and fuel economy? Then weekend nataka nitembee sana nifike ushago. It depends. The V40 is more powerful, has a turbocharger, Swedish built, very good build quality. The Axela is more of luxury at a budget, very reliable. If you're going for the petrol version, you do not get a turbocharger, but ni gari haitawai kusumbua. It's easy to maintain, so it's going to be easy on your pocket. The Volvo, on the other hand, might be quite expensive to maintain, even with general routine maintenance parts. So I think hapo nimejibu maswali kadhaa, na naona watu ndio wameanza kuingia. Watu wanaingia. Bobby Mugambi anasema kindly share your knowledge on Subaru Legacy BF3 and BH5. Acha hapo niongee kama mkaya. Legacies are nice vehicles, and especially the BH series. It looked quite nice. I actually love the BH. Also the BF, the BF haiko inakaa mbaya. But if you're getting them, don't get the ones with twin turbo. Yes, get the ones with a single turbo or naturally aspirated. If you're not a speed freak on them, but they are nice cars. The BF3s and the BH5s are actually good cars. Daniel Maina anauliza about Honda crossover. Is it a good car? Uh, which Honda crossover? Which one? CRV, Crossroad? Honda wako na crossover ingine? Vezel? Which one? Specify. Who else? Wakabi, talk okay. I'm looking for somebody else. Oh, well, Kevin Munyoki is asking what are captain seats. Captain seats ni zile, unaona gari kama Honda Jade ama Toyota Alphard ama Mazda CX-8, ile iko na viti nyuma ambavyo viti vya nyuma ni viti, kila kiti iko si kama bench ya Noah, kila kiti iko individual, like you can sit on your individual seat, you do not have to share with anyone. Those are what are called captain seats. Drake Kevin anasema good stuff. What's your take on these projectors, the bi-LDD projectors that are they good to install on our cars? I actually despise those projectors because they blind other motorists on the road. That is one reason why I don't like them. But if you feel they are of assistance, sour. But for me, I feel these projectors actually harm watu wa barabara, other road users. We have Monster. Hi Wakabi from Bomet. Watu wa Bomet. Monster salimia jamaa pale Bomet anaitwa DJ Weso ama Western's Production. Awasalimie sana. Alafu kuna mahali hapo Bomet wanatengenezanga chai mzuri sana. There is a nice hotel just opposite the stage. Inaitwa aje? Mahali unateremka kidogo alafu unaingia. Tuambie hapo kwa comments bwana Monster. So Monster anauliza I'm looking for the Honda Civic 1.5 turbo. Can I get it with a traditional automatic instead of a CVT? No, you cannot, Bwana Monster, but you can get it in manual configuration. Na Tom wa Grande Motor Imports anaweza kuletea hiyo gari. Sawa sawa. So Monster, if you have any queries on how to get that car, kuna hiyo namba iko hapo na pia hiyo namba inanunua chai. Sawa sawa. Kuna sauti imehepa tena. Kindly look at it. I doubt. Okay. Let me see. Okay, sawa. So David Thuo is saying I was inspired by the Trooper build, and the other question would be how much should one budget for a cheap adventure tourer? You should have an open budget. Because you see, this is dependent on which car you're getting. It should be dependent on how many, what, basically which car, how big, how reliable. There are so many things. So have an open budget. Hi Eric, I'm considering buying a Mark X 2014 from a friend, 109 kilometers on the odometer, anaginga akiuza 1.4 ama iko sawa. We would have to see the car, but 109 hiyo gari ni mpya kabisa. Peter Kule, advice about buying a Mercedes Benz. I'm planning to buy one soon. Peter, which particular Mercedes? Brian Wariuko anasema Infiniti Q50 or WRX. I would go for the WRX because I'm not a Q50 kind of person. Dixon Omboto, hello mkuu, budget ya 500k, can I get a good performance car? If yes, recommend one please. Performance car, unless you buy a vehicle and build it to be a performance car, and it's not going to be cheap. Evans Mukuri, hello Okabi, G-Town iko locked. Asante sana Evanson. Levin A92 nimeweka for AFE engine na gearbox ya E58. Should I upgrade? Kama unaweza pata for AGE, manze utafurahia. But those engines are quite expensive. But that car is good the way it is, because it's a very fun to drive vehicle. Kevin Kipkuru anasema hello Wakabi, Suzuki Baleno, can it be a reliable first time car? Yes, the Baleno is actually very good, but before you buy it, test drive the vehicle, make sure the CVT transmission is not jacking. Anchor Real Estate Limited. Hey, hello Eric. Volvo ilienda wapi? Your journey in cars is quite interesting. Pia Fit RS na Probox. Interesting. Hey, Volvo iliwekelewa mawe. Probox niliuza zote huko Chebarbar. Rosanna Job anasema BH5 is the ultimate performance wagon. I agree. Cyrus Kibe, between a turbo and an unturbo TD27, which one is better for a Terrano 2? If you get the turbo, fine, but the non-turbo is more reliable because you do not have extra components that can break down. Mark Davis Nyanumba anasema KXL 654 was seen somewhere. If you know, you know. Mark, umeona unajua uzuri sijaingia mahali mbaya. That's the good. Unajua, I'm very sure kutoka jana hadi leo haijaingia mahali suggestive. DJ Macjo, hello Eric. What do you think about the Stepwagon 2018 and how much is it? Nice car, 1.5 liter turbo, very spacious, has a waku tailgate. Pricing is a bit on the higher end because it's above, I think it's close to 2.5 ama 2.6 huko. Yo gari kona bei, but it's a nice car. Mimi wewe, Erico, last time ulisema Fuga Skyline 250 GT inakunywa sana. What figure should I expect? I'm okay with 10 kilometers to mimi wewe fanya hivi, cheza na 9. 10 iko sawa, itafika hata 12 itafika ukiendesha polepole, but ukifurahishwa na thrill hiyo gari, cheza na 9. Senior Bachelor alipenda tu Trooper. Vic 254 nani alisema mimi unajua hivi ndivyo mtu anaingianga kwa vishawishi. Unajua Vic 254 unaweza ulizwa na watu hii maneno ulijua aje? What do you have an updated fact sheet about that status? So Trooper iko sawa. Alizeti Wakabi, please talk about the Toyota IST fuel consumption, clearance and power. IST ni gari fiti, by the way. The power is good. Okay, fuel consumption of an IST, I don't think it should worry anyone, and it's also very reliable, so it's a nice car. Thomas Maina, Trooper iliendaje? Is the bill still on? Thomas, hujaona hiyo gari hapa saa hii tu. Ai bwana Thomas, ukifinya hapo urudi nyuma utaona hiyo Trooper hapo. Hata tutaend live na hizo picha za Trooper. Jamie anasema 2018 Lucy Kemi, hi Eric, what's a good SUV for a lady? Something stylish, reliable, good for both city and upcountry drives. Honda CR-V all-wheel drive would be good. Subaru Forester SK9 would be good. Which other one? Toyota RAV4, the new one. That vehicle is stunning. Jamie anauliza 2018 VW Tiguan diesel, is it a good buy and keep it stock with a DPF EGR? What is done to keep it problem free? The 2018 Tiguan 2.0 TDI is actually a very nice car, but to keep it stock, endesha hiyo gari for long distances. That way you are not going to have any problems with the DPF. Daniel Maina, sorry, I meant Honda Crossroad. Is it a good buy? Yes, it's not a bad car, but hakikisha haijachokorwa. Elias Aligula anasema, what is the current best 7-seater fuel wise and maintenance? Hey, that's a hard one. That's a hard one because kwa 7-seater we have the MPVs, we have the minivans, and we have the luxury minivans. So we need to know which one. Gerald Kidin anasema CKC himself. Thank you so much, Gerald. Kenti, budget 1.5. I love tech. Nataka Atenza but sifiki bei. Advice between V60 or Axela. If you love tech, go for the V60. Monster, inaitwa FG. Famous Gate. Oh, yes. That one. Asante sana. Bobby Mugambi, car stickers inakam tupige channel advert. Bobby Mugambi, unaona baada ya mwisho wa hii mwezi stickers zitakuwa. na nitawapatia stickers tumuone auto connect hapo nyuma ya gari na tutashukuru sana. uh, na pia unaweza nitumia details pale WhatsApp, just send a message and I'll make sure you get that sticker. uh-huh. Animals Kevin anasema is Toyota Caldina old model 2008 a good car? Yes, it's a good car. Drake Kelvin, can you do a review with Hemi engine like the double cabin pickup Ram and Cadillac? Drake Kevin, zikipatikana ni sawa, tutafanya. Ngugi James anasema nini? Okay, okay. Anasema, is there a narrative about importing cars with 100k mileage, but most that tells it's best to import a car above 100k mileage because it comes with new parts like yo Ngugi James, hiyo ni jaba. If it's not verified, ni jaba. Sawa? Yeah, if it's not verified, ni jaba. So do not fall for that. Unless you can have a maintenance tag of the vehicle. That remains null and void. Samuel Gadhanwa, hey Eric, what's the difference between 1KD engine on Toyota Hiace and on a Prado? There are several differences. There is the sump, there is the injectors, and there is also the ECU. Actually, the only kitu yenye inafanana kwa hiyo engine ya 1KD ya Hiace na 1KD ya Prado ni block pekee. Peter Kule, between E250 2015 and C200 2015 model, the difference is only the power figures actually. Na pia E250 inaweza kuja na some extra luxury features, but the difference is power only. Evans Mukuri, hey Kabi, where is that review ya Nissan Tida? Hiyo inakam, worry not, inakuja. Baraka Saiba anasema, hey Eric, can a Honda Fit disappoint a first time car owner? Yes, if it's hybrid na ikue ilete gearbox problems, hapo inaweza frustrate. Eugene checking in from Kakamega, karibu sana Eugene. Kevin Keegan, between Mazda CX-3 and CX-30, I would go for the CX-30 because it's bigger than the CX-3 and smaller than the CX-5. And on Monday we are having a review of the Mazda CX-30, na pia tuko na ka surprise hii Friday, tunaweza watupia ka review ka Good Friday, sindio? Meshak Muthama, between E250 and Crown RS, which one would you recommend? Personally, I would go for the Crown, but the Mercedes is good for a person who is looking for luxury, performance and fuel economy. Mimi natafuta reliability, natafuta hiyo thrill ya Japanese raw rear wheel drive. Kwanza mimi nikinunua Crown, nanunua ile 2.5 liter V6. Ama hata nikipata ile Majesta, although they are not many these days. David Consultant, how Kabi, upgrading from a Toyota 110 Caldina chopper to Caldina? Yes, it's a good idea. But pia angalia kama haijachokorwa. Who else is this? Meshak. Hiyo nishafanya. Pius Oyuga, 11 kilometers for a Toyota Vitz 2011. The model 13. Iko sawa ama inanicheza? Kwanza hebu pima vizuri. Jaza tank, piga lap, set kilometers pale kwa odometer, rudi kwa petrol station, jaza, then do the math and see what is the actual kilometers to the liter. Kama yakupati 11, there is a serious problem somewhere. Victor Mark, good evening. Kuna mahali naona wanasema Discovery iko more reliable than LC200. Hey. Ati kuna mahali wanasema hiyo kitu hata imenishtua hadi nikatupa hiyo nini. Ama amedelete hiyo comment, sijaiona. Nimeiona ya Victor Mark. LC100. Mimi hapo mtu kwanza unasema discovery na reliability in one sentence. Anyway, haina shida. Eli Kigen anasema talk about the Nismo e-Power versus Nismo Note DIGS. Nismo e-Power is basically an electric vehicle that uses the engine as a generator. Then the DIGS is direct injection gasoline with a supercharger. So yes, the e-Power has more torque, better fuel economy, but if you want a car yenye itaishi, then I think the Nismo DIGS would do. What about the Nissan La Festa? Naona people selling wachana nayo. Kevin Keegan, A3 value for money depends on where you're coming from and how much you're willing to spend on a car. Who else? Vitz 2011 yangu inatumia engine oil 4 liters 2 months, yet I do about 500 kilometers per month. Sijaelewa hiyo swali Pius. Moses Milao, talk about the hybrid Honda Vezel Shuttle DSG gearbox. What should someone avoid doing to them? Actually, it's not a DSG per se, it's a dual clutch gearbox. Yeah. Anyway, both have dual clutches. Maintenance number one, and also when you're buying the car from the word go, make sure you have a diagnostics done. Mostly kitu inafanya hizo gearbox za Vezel na nini zisumbue is the internal components. Those are the ones that sumbua sana, na since we do not have aftermarket support for most of them, the ideal solution inakuwa change gearbox. Who else? Let me see those questions. Manuel, is it possible to remove a carburetor, and will the car be efficient? The best thing is swap the engine, work EFI. Lawrence, are you coming live from a church, specifically a Catholic? Hapana. Hapana. Dennis Omboto, budget of 500 for first time. GD2 wachana nayo, hata heri ununue ni Santida. Ni Santida, wachana na hiyo kitu. Cabs, is W204 C220 diesel a good car? Na mmetaja Fuga, utupe review yake. Tukipata Fuga, we going to do a review on it, but the C220, if you manage it and you maintain it vizuri, it's not a bad car, but you should check the turbo sana. Sawa, so what kills the turbo most of the time is the oil. So ukimaintain hiyo gari tu vizuri, itakusaa vizuri, but the bottom line is drive the vehicle for long distances. Kuna high tech auto sales anasema between Harrier and Tiana, gani ni poa kwa long distance na speed? Otherwise, hey, Harrier na Tiana, hey bro, unajua Harrier kuna ASU 60, ASU 65, ZSU 60, ZSU 65, then kuna hybrid. So ni Harrier gani? Tiana kuna 2 liter, kuna 2.5 liter na kuna 3.5 liter. So Tiana gani bro? Webilab, hey Wakabi, is the Nissan Serena e-Power better alternative to the Noah Voxy and Stepwagon hybrids, considering hii haina extronic CVT? I would gladly say yes. Animals Kevin, Toyota Pote old model reliable kabisa. RS 2.5 inakunywa mafuta sana kweli? How long per liter? It depends on how you drive it, but ikifinya itakunywa hata 9, ukiendesha vizuri itakupatia hadi 12. Who is buying an Nismo e-Power ni around how much? Size iko around 1.4 there about. Masharia Gedaiga, Axela 2014 2.2 diesel 184 kilometers mileage. How long hadi I require an overhaul? Hiyo hata inaweza fika 1 million. As long as unatunza hiyo gari, naeka oil mzuri, hiyo gari itakuwa sawa. Brio Kim, hello Wakabi, turn between a BMW E60 520 diesel ama W211 E220 diesel. Go for a W211. Black Caviar, is a Subaru BF5 GTB a good car? It depends. If you're experienced with Subarus, it would be a good car. Then we have Elias Agula anasema, your knowledge and advice is top notch. Is it wise to buy 2007 4-wheel drive Caldina 500k? Ni vizuri kwanza nione hiyo gari. If it's clean, yes. If it's not, then hiyo nini. DJ Afro Movies Kemoda. Good evening. Between E250 2014 and CX5 2020 ni gani poa? Hiyo swali bwana. Hiyo swali ni what I would call vague, because you don't know what we are looking at. Mosky get my Honda Fit 2012 jacks under strain. Mileage is 160. I've changed most things, coils and plug fluids. Would it be an engine or gearbox issue? Mostly a gearbox issue, but have it checked. Wacha iangaliwe na mtu ajua chenye anafanya. Weka OBD ndani, angalia ni code gani inatoa. Animals Kevin, how much do you charge for consultation? We only charge 1,000 bob for a virtual consultation. James Munyi, hello Wakabi, naona vipi lapi yako ni donkey ya kufanya kazi ngumu. Sawa. Haya, sawa. So, hello Eric, with a budget of 3 to 3.5, what crossover would you recommend apart from the CX5? What are the Peugeot 3008? I don't like the Peugeot 3008 because it has a button to mimic the exhaust sound, and that to me was a letdown. And that's a good budget. Even you can get yourself 3.8. 3.8 unaweza pata SK9. Gari gani ingine unaweza pata? You can import a Tiguan 2.0 TDI. Yes. And then Mad for Fun tickets. Haya, swali ya mwisho alafu tuongea about Mad for Fun tickets. Hi Wakabi, Honda Stream first time car owner. Family kubwa 7 na biz both concerned about reliability na consumption. Kama uko na biashara, Stream si gari mbaya, but also know that the last row of seats inakuanga quite cramped up, so haitakuwa, it's not as spacious it's not as maintenance, it's not as, no, the last row of seats is not very spacious. So actually it's not a bad car, but in terms of fuel economy the Wish would do better. Wish itafanya poa. Also ease of maintenance, in terms of parts Wish pia uko na more parts, but the RSZ is, especially ukipata RSZ. Hello Eric, how much do you charge for car scouting? Hiyo ni sourcing. For more information about our car sourcing product, call the number on the screen. You'll ama utume a WhatsApp message. You'll chat with Winfred and she'll brief you more about it. Talking about the Xtronic CVTs and Nissan, does installing an aftermarket gearbox oil cooler improve the reliability? Ama Nissan too? Well, zile za kwanza, the ones with the stepper motor, the cooler would do wonders, but hizi zingine, they don't really require a cooler, not unless you want to do one just for having better cooling. But I wouldn't say they need it that much. Daniel Wambua anasema usinunue gari kama mbuzi. Exactly, yes. Msinunue gari kama mbuzi, and that is why we offer services such as pre-purchase inspection, sawa, consultation na sourcing, na with our partnership with Grande Motor Imports tuna offer pia importation. Sawa. So let me wind up na the tickets. So kwa hii live show tulikuwa nipatiane ticket mbili. Moja ishaenda ya Mad for Fun. So I have an extra ticket. Nataka ukipata hiyo ticket. And then, if you can go to my Instagram, I will also be giving 2 tickets courtesy of Road Cruiser East Africa. Na swali itakuwa hapo, ni swali rahisi sana. Naweza watupia mwa Kenya. How many tread patterns do we have za Road Cruiser? Ama Road Cruiser inakuanga na miguu kadhaa. Ya kwanza wacha niwapatie kamwax. Ya kwanza ni Road Cruiser Mad Terrain RA3200. So ni gani zingine unajua? Utaenda kwa hiyo video yenye itakuwa kwa my Instagram reel or my Facebook, my Instagram or my Facebook, na utajibu hiyo swali ndio upate the 2 tickets za Mad for Fun. But sasa nimepatiana ticket moja. Nimeshapatiana ticket moja. Huyo jamaa kwa na Mitsubishi Pajero Mark 1, na I hope ameandika message. So the second question I'll ask, and this is how I'm going to award the ticket to somebody who will be available on Saturday, coming Saturday, ya kwenda pale Mad for Fun. Let me see. Swali. I would like to ask, let me see, which question can I ask? Ndio tuone kama kama mnasikizanga. Gen Z, tuwaulize swali gani? Ama mwenye atatype wa kwanza, mwenye atatype haya, what tires is our 1985 Isuzu Trooper running on? Mwenye atatupatia jibu hapo wa kwanza tunampatia ticket moja ya Mad for Fun. Na yeah, actually yes, na this Easter, by the way, Road Cruiser wanapeana some goodies. So if you're traveling this Easter, as you explore more, Road Cruiser is driving with you throughout these festivities. Na yes, so you can kulingana unaendesha gari gani, angalia which you can visit any of Road Cruiser branches ama any of the shops selling Road Cruiser. The for instance, mimi ni mtu wa all terrain na mud terrain, and one of the reasons why I choose for the all terrain, the mud terrain RA 3200 is because of the tread pattern na pia the sidewall. Sawa sawa. Munene Mike, umepata ticket ya Mud for Fun. Mud for Fun. Sawa, Munene Mike, fanya hivi: to get your ticket, send a WhatsApp message to 0710 844 863 and we'll get in touch with you. Peter Nganga Wokabi, is the hype about the Toyota 100 really worth it? It is not. Well, I would say it's a matter of the emotion. Sawa. So mwenye amepata hii ticket ya kwanza ni Munene Mike. So we have 2 tickets, na mkienda pale kwa Instagram yangu, I will also give 2 tickets there. Sawa sawa. So for this episode of Konnekt Live, nataka kuwapa mkono wa buriani. No, that means hiyo ni mbaya. Let me just say goodbye for tonight. Thank you so much for being part of this live session, and you're going to have another one next Wednesday. Na pia mjue, we are also going to have a live session with a live audience. So stay tuned. We are going to tell you how you can actually participate on Auto Konnekt Live. Sawa sawa. So over and out, guys, and see you next week. Do a recce of the Mud for Fun track, and we are going to start with this small obstacle over here. I call it small, so we follow first gear. Let's do it. Do a recce of the Mud for Fun track.